This video is about a technique I stumbled across for joining wires to relieve tension on the welds. These are the welds where the wires were soldered together, and allowing it to be seen whether or not the welds are still in place. So it's just kind of trying to figure out a way of putting these wires together, and I'm sure somewhere someone else has come across the same technique. But what I did first is I joined the two wires by some duct tape. You could use some glue. You could even tie the wires together. If I tried really hard, I could pull these apart, but the duct tape's going to hold to a certain extent. But then what I did is, when I soldered them, I kind of made two loops that I can offset. So this way, this is not going to come in contact with this once I add the next piece of tape. The other thing too is this wire coming this way and this wire coming this way. Once I wrap tape around that, that will make this stronger. So like if I pull these apart, I'd end up having to very likely break these wires in order to stretch it. So just going to tape these up. This is going to be 5 volts, so I'm not really concerned about using electrical tape. Also, the purpose of this tape is not to keep the parts insulated, but just to keep this wire from moving apart. I don't think any excess tape is going to help, but it'd be nice if I could tear that more easily. And then finally, to complete this, you'd want a clear housing, because the point is I can visually inspect this and see the welds are in place. This is nice for something that you're going to rely on, like a positive pressure filtering apparatus. You could use, let's say, a large straw. If you did that, you would definitely want to slip it on the wire before you did the connection. In this case, I'm going to use a large tube, which will fit over this entire assembly. Now, can I actually see the welds when it's inside this tube? That's a good question. I didn't really check that. Kind of, let's see, is that back on video? Yeah, I can kind of inspect the weld a little bit, so that gives some peace of mind. So if there's a problem in power delivery, can kind of visually eliminate, or likely eliminate, at least one part. So that's all. So essentially this technique is you wrap the two wires around and then solder loops, and then wrap around the loops too to give it a second layer of security from being pulled apart.